One thing that I found slightly annoying since I started using the Fuji X-Pro1 about 18 months ago is that the newer film simulations that might be of interest, things like Classic Chrome and Acros, are not available to the older X-Pro1 camera. Now, the way I like to work is I shoot in RAW and I then take a first look at my photos on the computer in SilkyPix, which is the licensed software that comes from Fuji. So when I'm using SilkyPix, if I'm using a newer camera like my X-T20, I can see, I have access to the newer film simulations, such as Classic Chrome, Acros. But with the X-Pro1, same software, don't have access to those film simulations. I find this annoying because I like to, in my workflow, I like to process all of my photos in a similar sort of way. So having access to some film simulations with some bodies and not others is aggravating. So one of the things I was looking to do was to find out how to get around this. There's quite a lot of information I found online about using a tool called the Exif tool to update the Exif file for the raw images to convince SilkyPix that it's looking at a newer camera body than an X-Pro1. So unfortunately, I'm not able to get the Exif tool to work on my Windows 10 PC. The application crashes. So I was looking for another way of doing this, and I've been using the HXD software. So I thought I'd put together a brief tutorial to go through how I do it and how relatively simple it is to be able to get to a position where you can use Classic Chrome and Acros with X-Pro1 images. So hopefully this will be of use. So the first step is to download the HXD application. So I'll put the link in the description, and the main page looks like this that you can see on the screen at the moment, and there are some download pages for various versions of Windows, etc. So there's a download page and you can just pick the appropriate version. So once you've downloaded and installed HXD, you then have the capability to edit the Exif file. So what I'll do is I'll just step through that. I'm going to show you, here we have in SilkyPix, we have my X-Pro1 folder, and this is a series of X-Pro1 images. I'll just pick one out here of a flower, and what we can see, because it's an X-Pro1 image, if we look at the camera setting, we'll see that Classic Chrome isn't there and the various Acros options are not there either. In this same version of SilkyPix, we can look in my X-T20 folder, and I can pick pretty much any image in there. One of a dog, for example, and if we look under camera setting, we'll see we have Classic Chrome, should we desire it, and the various Acros options, should we desire those. And of course, going back to the X-Pro1 folders, yep, no Classic Chrome, no Acros. Okay, so how do we go about fixing that? So I'm going to take this particular file, which is DSCF 970 raw file, 9770 raw file, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to use the HXD application to edit the Exif. So let's launch the HXD application, file, open. Okay, I've been here to this folder before, so you can just use the usual navigation to get to the folder you want to. This is the image that I'm going to edit. I'll open it, and that presents me with the Exif data in hexadecimal format. And what I need to do is search out a particular string, and I can see what I'm looking for here in roughly the center of this screen where it says X-Pro1. I'm going to change that by overtyping it to XT20. So if I go to the right place in the file, which is there, and you can see it's popped the cursor over the P there. So I'm going to change that to a T, which I think is 54. Oops. Oh, I'll need to unlock unlock this from SilkyPix and then have another go. 54. So that's now says XT, and then I'm going to change this to so that it says XT20. So that's going to be 32, 30. 0. So as you can see, that now says XT20, and if I save that, okay, and I can now close the file. Okay, so now going back to SilkyPix, and if we move back to our original file that we were editing, which is 9770, we look at the camera settings. We now have classic chrome if we wish to use it, and we have the various Acros options. I'll pick classic chrome, and I'll say develop that, and that's the folder. And I'll just say develop, and it will produce me. I've set up producing a JPEG from the raw. Just wanted to show you that it is successful. So that is now a classic Chrome version of that particular image. The HXD does work in a non-destructive fashion, so it creates a back file as well. So if we, yeah, there we are. If we go to the File Explorer, you can see that there is a raf.back as well for that image. And if I open up the JPEG that I just created, there it is in classic Chrome. So hopefully that has shown you a fairly simple way of getting X-Pro1 files, raw files, to be able to use classic Chrome and Acros, or any of the other newer film simulations. I'm not sure which other ones there are, to be honest, but I'm just using I use those two because I'm used to using them with the XT20 as well.